This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the dawn. Welcome to some fine rays of sun breaking through the cloud in the west. It is a beautiful dawn out here. We are very excited to take you around and on board, and not only myself out and about in the African wilderness. We have Trishala out with Mpo on Djuma. We have Trico and Gert out in Ngala. We have Mike and Niels on foot in Eco Training, Prrivate, and Juan and BK out in Tswalu Kalahari. And on that note, we welcome you aboard your live African safari. Good morning and hello everybody. Welcome to a very overcast and fresh Djuma Private Game Reserve where the temperature is 16 degrees Celsius, 61 degrees Fahrenheit. And hello, my name is Steve, joined by Johanna on camera, and we're excited to be with you this morning. I hope you are as excited as we are. Jump on board. We're going to head down this road. We are just checking our western boundary for all things track related. And it is a lovely day to be out and about. Please, if you have questions, you know how to get hold of us using the hashtag WildEarth, @FC on Twitter, or if you're under the age of 18, get your parents and guardians to send through questions to kidsquestions at wildearth.tv. Alternatively, the easiest way, go over to the website and submit your questions there on the live safari page. Now, there haven't been many sounds in the night. We haven't seen many tracks, but that often bodes well for a cracker of a morning when you don't find anything out the gate. You have to physically work for it. So we're excited to do so. 30th, is the 30th of March today. Goodness gracious, where is the year going? What we are going to do, though, is we're going to go to One-Eyed Pan, and I'm going to show Johan the two chicks of the klein waterhoender. The lesser moorhen. I want to go see if they're still around. If you missed it yesterday, please stay tuned as we're going to try and find you some more small water hens. Oh, just got some grass right in the eye. Everyone's holding thumbs. Please can someone let me know what that means? Holding thumbs. It's very awkward. Everyone's holding thumbs for a good morning. Johan seems to think it means that if you're doing that, you can't think of anything else. I don't know. You can't do anything else. You definitely can't punch somebody like that. Oh. Let's see if we can get him. I had a green woodhoopoe, a kakelaar. We can maybe hear them in the tree now. The Shangaan and Zulu words are very similar. Hlega bafazi. Hlega means cackling woman, because they tick, 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 tick. Cackle, cackle, cackle. I didn't come up with the name, everybody. It was not my name. It is a... There we go. He's on the lower branch over there. There we go. There comes one. There's the green woodhoopoe. It used to be known as the red-billed woodhoopoe, which I kind of like the name because it looks quite red-billed. The green you can only really notice in certain light. The iridescence, off they go. Off they go.
like that.
Well, just like that. It's going to be a morning of birding, though, everybody. It's going to be a morning of birding. And you've got a grasshopper on the lens here. Hello, fella. I don't want to touch. We'll just leave him there for now, as long as you're not influencing your show too much. Grey-headed bushwhack. We've got an accumulation of starlings up the top of the tree there. They look like Cape Glossies. Might be grey to blue-eareds. There we go. Yeah, and I think we've decided on our plan for the morning. We're going to do some birding. After the starling, bless you, sir.
Excuse me.
After the starlings, we're going to move on to find our small water hens. Bless you. They've survived the night. They're waiting for the sun's rays to just add a little bit of warmth to their day. Okay, well, it is overcast and cloudy in Djuma. Let's have a look at the weather across all properties.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a slightly more chilly morning on Djuma Game Reserve. I'm also like Steve Starlings, trying to warm up just a little bit. Luckily, I've got a beautiful view off to our west there to warm us up. Plus, I've got a little blankie covering my bottom half. Hi, everyone. It's me, Trishala. I've got him on camera with me. We're very excited to have you on board, as always, with your questions and your comments and, of course, your viewership. So we're here looking out to the west, and the fact that we're in the west should tell you what I'm looking for. I'm here on Zoe's Road, the road that we saw Milwati on, and I'm just looking for tracks, because what I really want to see is whether this is a road that he's using frequently. Now, at the moment, I haven't seen any of his tracks, but we're going to keep on going. But after we check this road, I want to head to the east and see if there's any tracks on Cheetah Cutline, which is our eastern boundary. See if the female leopard, who we think was Tlalamba, is using that area frequently. It's always important, even if you don't find the animal, to just figure out what their movements are. And then we can use that information to assist us in finding them in the future. Now, often we get asked, how do we locate the leopards and all of that, and tracking. How do we know tracks are fresh, and how do we know who we're going to find in the area? That's one of the ways that helps. We get to actually figure out who's where and what their movements are. There's a little friend on the road, so today I'm looking for all creatures, great and small. Here I found the first small one. It is a millipede. I love how they move. They leave the most perfect tracks, and as they move, unmistakable. I find it amazing how they coordinate those legs to move in this wave-like fashion. Mark, you'd like to know what local people call it here? We call it a shongololo. I've actually called it a shongololo from the time I first saw one, I guess. I think it's a very sweet name for it. There's so many words growing up that you don't realize are local words. You just think that it's English. Many South Africans only speak English, although there are many official languages. There are many people that only speak English, like myself. I wish I could speak other languages, but unfortunately, it's just English. So I grew up thinking Shongololo was an English word, thinking takis was an English word. Takis are runners, or, yeah, like your, is there another word for takis? Runners, sneakers, there we go, sneakers. Trainers, there we go, thank you. I just thought it was takis. Then I traveled all over and expected people to understand what I meant. What? Takis is an Afrikaans word for shoes, or for sneakers. Same goes for braai. Didn't realize that was not an English word when I was little. I do love our South African culture. It's such a mix of so many different types of people, different languages, and we all learn from each other. We all have different heritages. It's so rich. And of course, we have this gorgeous wildlife. So we're going to continue on, see what we can find. I see Steve has pulled up in front of me, so he's already checked this road. So I'm going to head off to the east. Let me send you over to Yuan to say good morning.
Welcome back, everybody, and good morning from the Kalahari, and a stunning, gorgeous moon that we're starting off with this morning. We've been having this moon in the evenings actually quite a bit, but yeah, you can see that moon's still very shiny as we are quite far out to the western side of the country. And yeah, just seeing that moon still very bright, it means our sun haven't really come up yet. We've got rather quite a bit of a cloud cover this morning coming through with this gorgeous moon. Just zooming out, we just want to show you the gorgeous coloration of the reflection of the sunrise coming up there. As you can look at those clouds, very beautiful colorations, reflections, almost very similar to the winter time and winter months, as typical the type of colors that you can get there. These stratus clouds, it seems like there's a bit of wind in the stratosphere this morning, as it looks like there's quite a bit of a build-up of wind happening today. Good morning, everybody. My name is Yuan, and behind the camera this morning is BK, and we will be your team in the Kalahari this morning. Our game plan for this morning is actually trying to do almost the same as Steve, trying to see if we can pick up on any tracks this morning, see what we can get on any animals and so. But would you look at that? Isn't that just stunning? Look at that beautiful, stunning sunrise trying to break through the clouds below this earth, below the Earth's horizon. But yeah, beautiful seeing that rays of the sun coming through, and then obviously also a bit of stratocumulus and a bit of cirrostratus clouds to stratus clouds coming into the mix there, forming up that gorgeous view that we're literally looking at there. But unfortunately, there's quite a bit of a windy structure happening there. Last night, for those of you that joined us for the sunset drive, we've been talking about the rain locust that's indicating some rain, and some of these guys are some of the front runners for the rain clouds to be coming through. But yeah, there is quite a bit of a windy structure happening this morning. A tiny bit of a breeze coming through. And so along with that breeze, it's a northerly wind. So yes, it could be that our rain locust were talking about the truth. And well, they never lie, shall I say. But yeah, we've been having the situation that he might have been saying, well, as he's been saying, the rain could be coming. This is the possibilities already that we could be seeing the front runner signs. And the wind could be picking up during the day as it is. But yeah, we are looking at fairly good wind conditions. All right, and so for this morning, we're going to continue looking for these tracks in this area, for anything that we could potentially be tracking this morning. and we'll keep you updated. And for now, we're going to send you back over to Ngala.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to andBeyond in Ngala. So, plan for this morning, we're going to be heading in a westerly direction from where we are, looking for opportunities of a leopard. And actually, while we're sitting here, we just had a leopard rasping on our left-hand side. Good morning, everybody. My name is Trico, and behind the camera, I have Hart with me, so that everybody can join us this morning. So, as we're sitting here, we had a leopard calling here. And I think this is the sort of the first place where we're going to start to go look for that leopard. But before we head there, just want us to take a little bit of a moment in this early, beautiful morning to just listen to the sounds of nature around us, and also just, enjoy the ambience. Welcome, Melissa. Really happy that you can join us. Mr. Believe vacation is leopards active in the morning. Yes, they are, Melissa, especially now. Still very cool. So they could be looking to hunt. And also, in an early morning like this, they could be patrolling the territory, maybe busy scent marking around. Like we're sitting earlier on, in that area that you can see, we just had a leopard rasping there. So I think that particular leopard is probably moving around in this early morning. And also, good opportunity to hunt as well. I think from here, we're just going to continue to go in that area where we had the leopard and see if maybe we can find it.
It's the month of March and WildEarth is offering you the chance to win a brand new prize. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer and you could win a 5-day eco-training ranger experience for 2. Eco-training is the pioneer and leader in safari guide and wildlife training in Africa. The lucky winners can look forward to approaching dangerous game on foot, tracking and 4x4 driving, learning about animal behavior, and even spending one night sleeping out under a blanket of stars. In addition, you will also get the exclusive opportunity to join the WildEarth team on the broadcasting vehicle. Sign up to be an explorer now, and it could be you that wins this life-changing experience. Terms and conditions apply.
For all of you WildEarth explorers who bought plaques, today is the day that you will make your very first safari on our vehicle. Because we are quite remote here in the bush, they have taken some time to arrive, but I am happy to say they are here and they look great. Marcel has spent the day attaching them. Let's take a look.
Before we mount these nameplates, we just give a light dusting of green paint. This is to better match them to the color of the vehicles and also to decrease the reflectivity of the metal and thereby staying sensitive towards the animals.
Bumbo crew, hopefully Dan Black, Liesel Apgar and Alicia George. Well, it's time for me to get ready to take you all on a safari. Let's go.
Hi, my name is Tristan Dix, and I am a guide here at Djuma Private Game Reserve for WildEarth. We love connecting you to the African bush, and we always look forward to all of your questions. If you want to ask a question on WildEarth, you'll need to register on the website. Once registered, go to our live safari page and submit a question below the live feed. Catch up with me on WildEarth.
Like this, you'll find them scattered around lessons. Then they will start, they'll regroup in a bachelor herd and then go out again, find a territory. Whereas at other parts of loose mixed herds. You can't really say that they're a harem system or that they have very strict breeding herds and bachelor herds. Very, very loose social aggregations. Now everyone is very peacefully just eating. No problems in sight for them. I really enjoy watching them, apart from the fact that I think that they're beautiful antelope. I also get a lot of use from them. Watch if they're alert, listen for alarm calls as they slowly become less reliable. Do you remember yesterday, impalas to fight? Actually, because
Welcome back, everybody. So I'm currently driving into Mbawati Riverbed, heading west. I'm in this section here. If you were with us last night, you would have seen we had a leopard in this riverbed. So this area here, very much worth to come have a look again. But the rasping that we had earlier on were coming from maybe somewhere up here on the banks of this river. And as it's still nice and cooler, we might get some leopard activity. And we know of this one female that lives in this area that has 2 young calves. And I think those youngsters are only left with about maybe 5 to 6 months before they're independent. But at the moment, they're still hanging around with mom, learning the skills, whether to hunt, and also to defend themselves just before they head their own way. And also because we're driving in this riverbed here, I mean, it's sandy. So when the sand is like this, you can able to see nice and clear tracks. And probably maybe we can follow it up and hopefully find it. Bridget, I believe you're asking how often do animals come into this riverbed? Quite often, Bridget. They do come here. Sometimes we do find things like elephants here, different kinds of antelopes. And sometimes they just use this riverbed just to cross from one bank to the other. So yeah, quite often we do have animals in this riverbed here. And also there are some sections where there's a bit of puddles of water. So they sometimes come here for a drink. But then also your animals, like things like buffalo, because on these banks here, there's a lot of trees, and the banks are a little bit raised. So with the cold wind in the early morning, this banks actually blocks that cold wind. So these animals, or some of the animals, will come into this riverbed to lay down so that they get warm. And also along the sides of this riverbed here, there's a lot of water underneath. The trees tend to grow taller and taller and much more bigger in size. So you find some interesting birds around in these banks here. You know, your white-backed vultures will have nests along this riverbed here. And some species of owls, you know, like your Verruc's eagle owls. You tend to find them along this riverbed. I really cannot copy anything here. I think I need to repeat that again. So as we drive along this riverbed, we're still gonna be keeping an eye out for any interesting birds along this riverbed. But while we're driving here, I'm gonna quickly send you
Welcome back, everybody. Well, the wild dogs have been found on safari, which is here, Arethusa, I believe. So we were tracking them there, but they cut through in that direction. We will be standing by sort of that one-out pan area. Hopefully they come towards us. That is where we were going anyway. So we might be lucky. We might just be chilling there, looking at some little water chickens. And out come the dogs. We had tracks before on the junction at the bottom there, and they were very fresh. You could smell. The smell was just... I can't actually get the smell out of my nose from yesterday. When you're driving behind 22 wild dogs, the smell is, it permeates through you. The whole day yesterday, all I could smell was wild dog. So we're on our western boundary now, Arethusa. Simbambili's coming up. Djuma is the side. This is called Triple M. So this takes us straight to the gate, Gari Gate, which is the entrance to the northern Sabi Sands. If we go straight down on this road, it takes us to Mala Mala. I think that's what's called Mala Mala Main, where the name Triple M comes from. But essentially, you can see how wide it is. Maintained it as a fire break, and it was probably once upon a time there was a fence here. We call these cut lines. Whenever you find these cut lines wide like this, it shows that there was once a road, a fence, another road, just between two adjoining properties, and obviously always very straight. Generally, very straight. The dogs are in here. It's a little bit south from where we can access, but we're going to access just a little further up. Haley, I haven't seen them hunt birds. Yesterday I saw them hunting some sticks, which was pretty cool. I'm sure they do hunt birds. We had one last week kill a scrub hare. So I'm sure little game birds do get caught. Same sort of strategy as dogs would catch things. They grab and they sort of tear or shake their head, that sort of head shake. Very characteristic killing strategy for a dog on small prey. And wonder how many small animals like that they actually feed on in a day. It'd be very hard to sort of know the amount that they move and how the large distance that they travel, how many small mammals, small birds actually form part of their diet. I probably wouldn't be surprised to say quite a bit. A year and a half ago or 2 years ago, we had one eating a millipede. Yeah, we saw it live on Cheetah airstrip. Ate a millipede. Wasn't very nice. I don't think it was very nice, although I didn't know a dog could be that hungry. Blech. Maybe it was looking for some of the psychosomatic properties that the millipede is potentially able to transmute. That dog that had a wonderful, entertaining afternoon with his friends. I'm only joking, we left it, so we didn't see, but it probably did. Probably did. Okay, well, we're about to enter into Simbambili. We're about to get to One-Eyed Pan. Are we ready to see some little water chickens? Yes, James, we will get lucky with the dogs. I'm almost certain of it. Although, you know what happens when the dogs get found. Apart from yesterday, we had them in the morning for ages. I left once and didn't actually leave because the guy that I left for just left. So we ended up staying with the dogs for a very long time. We ended up leaving the dogs to go home for breakfast. So those things do happen from time to time. But we were very lucky. I've been very lucky the last 2 days with wild dogs. So I'm feeling it again this morning. Apologies that my game drive radio is on. I'm just going to keep listening because if they do come, they're going to come right past us here. Are you ready for some small water water chickens, everybody. Yeah, I know you're ready for some small water chickens. Klein waterhoender is the Afrikaans name for the lesser moorhen. And now I've built it up. We need to find them. We had them on that side yesterday. We're going to have to spend a moment here to allow them to come out of the emergent vegetation. So I'm going to scan with my binoculars, and Johan is going to look for any movement. Now Johan, you're looking for little black water chickens. That's what they look like. They actually look like little dinosaurs, the little chickens, the little chicks. So I was asked yesterday by someone, why are they so not often seen? It's because of this, everybody. It's because of where they occur. You've got to be very still. There we go. Johan, at the back here, let me direct you. One's moving in, okay, sort of at 4 o'clock. I'll help you direct you a better way. Let me get him again. I've got a baby water chicken there. Okay. You see where the guarri bush is at the back, that big bush there? Go in the middle of that and come down in front of it.
In the water.
It's in the vegetation there. If you just look closely at the grass, you'll see where the grass moves. And when the grass moves, that is one of them moving through. It's not easy to see, but in that general direction, it is moving about. And I'm sure we will get another visual of it in a moment.
Scanning the grass.
Yeah. So in that sort of area there, just keep having a look. Yesterday, Paul and I were able to get it a few times on camera. But it was moving. It wasn't being very shy. Exactly, Justine. That's what I thought. Swimming water chickens. When I got here yesterday, the two chicks with the mum were actually on this side of the river, on the side of the pan. And the mom flew, and the light wasn't great, so I didn't know what she was. And then I saw these two black chicks with pretty much not even any wing development and a very strange-looking beak. And they started making this little clucking sound. Okay, Johan, a little bit more to the left of the point I pointed at. There's a little bit of grass moving. You see where this tuft of grass is sticking out the most? Into that gap, and just behind that in the grouping there, you'll see there's some vegetation slightly moving, and there's a little blackbird moving around there. And Justine, so then the two youngsters climbed out of this vegetation, walked into the water and just started floating across. I was quite amazed. I'd never seen small water chickens before. Really small water chickens before. I've seen a handful of lesser moorhens in my life. Can you see where that vegetation is moving, Johan?
I see vegetation moving.
Yeah, just at the base of that gap, there is one there. I think that's the adult. Here we go, it's coming towards the front now. It's actually the chick in that little gap I was pointing. You see the gap I'm pointing at where that first tuft comes out? Go into the gap behind that on the left. And there's a dark spot moving to the right of exactly the piece of grass I was talking about. Let me move forward an inch. Let me move forward an inch because I can see it from my angle. That patch of grass that's sticking out directly behind it on the left now. is a water chicken. This is a treasure hunt, everybody. Binoculars are key. I can't see it anymore. It heard my engine and it's gone back into skulky mode. Terry, we get two. I haven't seen the greater moorhen here. It's possible we could get them. They're actually more common. Oh, there we go. To the right now, Johan, of that patch. About 2 meters to the right. There's a little black spot sticking out of the vegetation. So the lesser and the greater moorhen, the lesser being less common, is the only one I've seen. It's just in that thicket. You see the movement. Focus in on that movement and you will eventually get a little chick. So this is why they are, is it even called a greater? I think it's called a common moorhen and a lesser moorhen. We do get confused sometimes. Yeah, it's called the common moorhen, which is actually bigger. They're both gallinules. So we get the, here we get common moorhen and the lesser moorhen. Definitely both could occur here. And then more special birds. Allen's gallinule, the purple gallinule, which is a rare vagrant, and the African swamp hen, which I've never seen before, could occur. They're all very similar. They all look very much the same. So gallinules, moorhens, swamp hens, you can see where they get the name little chickens from. They do look like little chickens. But they are these very sort of skulky, rank vegetation birds that hang out in these little thickets next to the water. And you can see how much effort we're putting in. Oh, I can see it again. Right below where that vegetation's moving. Oh, and on the left now. You'll see it moving into the open. The adult is moving. They are so difficult to see. Can you see that dark gap there moving now? Two of them. Just behind this patch that's standing right out. There's the black one. Yes. Look with your naked eye, you'll see that black piece there moving. See where that bubble just dropped in the water? Directly behind there, there's that black piece.
That's where I am.
You see with your naked eye? Look with your naked eye there.
Oh, I see it.
Hey, please, can we get him? Hopefully.
Got it.
Yay! Oh, here we go. Well done. Now, is that the chick or is that the adult? I can't tell right now. It's very hard to see. I think it's a chick. Hey, it's a little chick. Well, everybody, now you are seeing a little water hen. A chick of the lesser moorhen. And I could only tell you that it's the chick of the lesser moorhen because we saw the adult yesterday. And unless the adult was looking after someone else's babies. Yeah. And in they go once again into the rank vegetation.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, well, we're going to stay here. Maybe we get a better view of the whole family, and let's send you over to Trish, who's on a bumble.
Very cute. At least you got a look at the moorhen chick. I am doing circles a little bit here at dams because they're tracks for male leopard. They've just come into the property, but they don't extend past twin dams. So it's possibly Masha. He's been hanging around in this area quite a bit. Taking it easy, the grass is so tall. That we're not going to see him unless he decides to show himself. And the last time we had him, we saw his route. He comes down from Little Gowrie, turns over here and goes up towards the east. So that's pretty much what we're going to do. See if we can try and locate him that way. He moved quite considerably east and then into Chitwa, quite close to Cheetah Cutline the last time that we had him. The difficulty with tracking is being behind the animal. Stacy, hi. You'd like to know who is Shasha's? That is a good question. No. So, in order to figure out who his father is, we would need to do a scat analysis. And in order to do that, you need to see Shasha take care of his ablutions right in front of you, and then collect a sample and send it over to a program that does that genetic testing against all the other leopards that we have genetics for. But unfortunately, that program is not quite running at the moment. So we don't know. There's a possibility, or we can think about the possibilities. It could be Mulwati. It could be Mulwati. I'm not sure who she was seen mating with. It could be Tingana. There are quite a lot of possibilities, actually. But we wouldn't know. We wouldn't have an idea at all, actually. And here is just this Mulwati dip. Often like to look from side to side here. So off to our right, this bit of the Mulwati is Little Gowrie. And then bits of the Mulwati that are on the other side is the part of the Mulwati that you're quite familiar with. Always hoping to find a leopard emerge from that corner in a big reveal. Maybe we take the Leadwood firebreak. Wow, I haven't driven more water. The length of it will just be turning up right here. I really hope you'll be successful in finding our leopard.
So in 1998, we had this idea to go and put a live web camera on a waterhole somewhere in the Sabi sands next to the Kruger National Park. And I approached just about every single landowner and everybody thought I was completely crazy until I met Yuri and Pippa Moorman.
We thought it was definitely a fun idea and a worthwhile thing to experiment.
And it immediately became a runaway success. And it gave people all around the world the opportunity to watch a little piece of Africa day and night. Back in 1998, it was the very early stages of the internet. And all we were able to do was to get a 30-second refreshing JPEG out of that camera. But over time, what we began to do is focus more and more on trying to develop this concept of giving people the opportunity to go on safari.
Even though we live just 500 meters up this hill, we still put the camera on to see what's happening.
Absolutely, we watch it ourselves.
For many years, WildEarth has taken viewers from around the world to the Mara Triangle, a place of majestic beauty and abundant wildlife. But it wasn't always like this. Before 2001, it was infested with poachers. Illegal harvesting and hunting was rife. Now the situation couldn't be more different. The hard work and dedication of the Mara Conservancy has revolutionized this magical land. But now, the loss of revenue from tourism has created a grave crisis. The Mara Conservancy needs help if they are to continue protecting the reserve and supporting the local communities whose livelihood depend on its survival.
I'm Nikki here at andBeyond in Ngala in South Africa. I love getting questions from viewers about all the small things within the environment and how it all is integrated with one another. If you want to ask me any questions, please simply register with the WildEarth website, head across to the live safari page and then post your questions there. I'm looking forward to chatting to you on my next WildEarth drive.
Right, everybody, so we've been, looking high and low for this leopard. And we've actually covered a very huge area. But so far, there hasn't been any signs. Because the only thing that could depend on in this moment was heading in that general direction where we had the rasping. But as soon as we were close to that area, or as soon as we get to that area, obviously the rasping stopped. So it actually becomes a little bit difficult to sort of pinpoint exactly where that leopard could have been. I mean, we even looked for tracks in around those roads where we drove, and we didn't see anything. So I think that particular leopard could be deep in the thickets on our left-hand side. So we're going to drive a little bit more down here towards that Timbavati riverbed on the crossing. And if we don't find any signs, we're going to continue heading sort of northwest. There were reports of pride in that direction. Claire, very happy that you can join us. Claire, when you're living in the bush, you start to, get familiar with these calls. So that call there that we had was definitely a leopard. And I mean, you can't really miss that. Nothing has that sort of a call than a leopard. So yeah, that was definitely a leopard. So also I'm just hoping that these lions give us, a bit of movement, a bit of activity, because of the reports that there were youngsters as well in that pride. and I'm very excited about that. Mark, what is my favorite big cat? Yo, Mike, if I can put one up there, it will have to be a lion, to be honest. Because they're such social cats. And you know, when you find them, usually, especially when it is this cool, you know, they tend to show a lot of affection towards each other. And the fact that they stay together as a family, at least for most of the females, or all the females, and I quite like that, and which is why lions are my favorite. Welcome, Julian. I am happy that you can join us this morning. Has there been any cheetah recently? Yes, we've had some cheetah recently. Maybe a week or 2 weeks back. We had this female with 3 youngsters. And it was quite exciting for all of us here because, you know, finding a cheetah in Ngala, it's actually very difficult. We actually don't see a lot of cheetahs here. And the reason might be because, you know, we don't have a lot of open grasslands. You know, we just only have a few. But then also, there's a lot of lions here. And lions, they really do not like each other. But yeah, every now and then we'll get cheetah coming in and out.
I'm sorry guys, I'm sure we'll get Ngala back in no time. For now, you have me, and I am heading to the east as was originally planned. These tracks seem to disappear somewhere around Leopard, and if we look off to our left as we're just driving a drive, you'll be able to see that it's very, very thick and bushy, and there's a drainage there, so it's almost impossible to track. But what I have seen is his tracks moving towards where they were last picked up there, Twin Dams. Thing is, he hasn't been exploring much in Djuma, so he may have just gone down the road, gone into Leopard, or onto Leopard Road, and then turned back towards Tswalu Kalahari. So, plan, I'm gonna check Tswalu quickly. Then we'll go on Cheetah Cut Line, check for tracks along there, and then Buffelshoek Dam. Cheetah has been great for leopards. Hi Morris, you'd like to know, what does it mean when a leopard is nomadic? So leopards are territorial, as you know, so they're just defending a certain territory. When they're nomadic, it means that they're not doing that anymore, and that usually happens with age. So they'll start as they become older, their condition is depletes a little bit, and then they're also a little bit more aware about the fact that they could get injured if they have confrontations with younger, stronger leopards. So they tend to be nomadic, and they move through different areas, and they don't necessarily hold a territory, and they don't display territorial behavior. So that's what it means to become nomadic. That doesn't mean that they won't mate, though. They'll still mate. They'll just be a little bit more sneaky about it. If the opportunity presents itself, they will most definitely still mate. They just won't hold a particular territory and defend it and display territorial behavior. Okay, turning into Chitwa, everyone. I feel leopardy on Chitwa today. I'm feeling it. Leopardy and elephanty. So to expand on your question, Moritz, Tingana is thought, or we think that he could be nomadic because he hasn't been holding a specific territory, or at least the specific territory that we know him to hold and patrol. Because his territory can extend beyond those, but then maybe he's using those periphery parts of his territory that we are less familiar with, which is also possible. Just check for some tracks there. So what I'd really like is to be able to watch him for a whole day and see if he's still displaying that behavior, if he's still sawing, scent marking, all of that. Because you know what we often notice is that when there's an area that is a boundary between two animals' territories, or maybe there's a small portion that overlaps territories, or maybe there's a small portion that overlaps. When you see one leopard, then you see the other one whose territory it's bordering. Like with Mulwati the other day, we saw Mulwati, saw Tingana. Seeing that happened, maybe it's just a coincidence. That's also a possibility. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but often I see that when they're territorial leopards. Tingana didn't display. They also didn't get to spend that much. Still not seeing too much, but I really want to have a good look for tracks in this area. We're going to pop up onto the dam wall just now, see if there's something happening behind the dam, and also just listen for a little bit. But this is a good road to take as well, especially for Sibuyi and her two cubs. Anyway, let me send you over to Steve at a smaller watering hole than Chitwa while I get up onto the dam wall.
Welcome back to One Eyed Pan, everybody. We had a little view of one of the chicks came right out into the open and now skulked back into the thickets. I had a view of two at one point. Now we can't see any. We have slightly repositioned. We're going to give it a couple more minutes and then we're going to carry on. It might be getting a little bit late in the day for our little water chickens. I just love the Afrikaans names of birds, everyone. They're so descriptive. And they're adding so much value. One of the viewers, Elsie, is sending me lots of pictures and names of English and Afrikaans, which when I get the opportunity, I'm going to be printing off, maybe laminating. And here the black-headed oriole calling in the background. And a very chirpy fork-tailed drongo. Wesley, I'm not even sure when last I saw the Sands pack. I sometimes forget which packs I'm even seeing. If it wasn't for some of our astute viewers, I would just be going, we have some more wild dogs here, everybody. But the Pungwe, I think, was once the Investec breakaways. And they were around for a while. And then I think the Sands I've only seen once before, but I can't remember when. Just seeing wild dogs is just so exciting. Doesn't really matter who they are, but seeing 22 plus is really exciting. So we're hoping. Just sitting here quietly doing some birding, everybody, and the dogs are going to come running here. What do you think? Maybe. Okay, so I'm just going to play you a little call quickly if you listen to my hat. It's the call I'm hoping to hear. I'm going to play it very softly. That is the lesser moorhen call. I'm not going to play it any louder than that because I don't want to disrupt or disturb the birds. I suppose it even sounds a little bit like a chicken, doesn't it? Yep. A hoender. One of the coolest bird names as well that is derived directly from the call. Carla, no, it's not. One-eyed pan is just a little rain-fed pan. It stayed wet quite long last year, but it won't stay an entire year again, I don't think. But it's a lovely little seasonal pan. So I'm going to play for you a bird that gets its name. Afrikaans name is called a berghaan, which means a mountain chicken. Is that right?
Mountain cock or haan is a cock.
Mountain cock, so a mountain rooster.
Rooster.
Okay, let's have a listen. Tell me if it sounds like that. It's so funny. Now, I've given you the Afrikaans name. Please, if you know the English name, send it through using the hashtag WildEarth. Throw it in the YouTube chat stream. Jared and Elton are eagerly waiting to see who can get the answer right there. And if you are Afrikaans speaking, you obviously know the English name quite easily. That's still okay. Still okay. Let's see who can get that bird. Many of our internationals who have no idea what I was just saying. If you've never heard that call before, it's not one we often hear. To be honest, it's not one we often get to hear, but that wing flapping before the call is a very characteristic feature of that bird. Can you hear them? Just on this side, I can hear the little chick. It was making a noise like that yesterday. They've moved into the dense vegetation. Can't see it though. Picky has got it right, of course. Picky's got it right. I'm going to wait for some more answers to come through before I give you the answer. Picky's in Palabora. She probably hears and sees that bird all the time. It's a very common bird that we have on the show. It's a bird that everybody likes to talk about because it's so beautiful, so well adapted, and pretty much always around. And if you're not sure and you're not leaning in the right direction, I'll give you a clue. It is a bird of prey. Okay, so now there's two calling. There's one in that vegetation and one on the left where we originally had them. Sharon, you have got it right as well. Well done. Now, if anybody else was leaning towards the word battalier, you have got it right. Well done. The mountain rooster. Oh, I just love the Afrikaans names. They're so descriptive. We'll be focusing on a few more Afrikaans bird names going forward. Two chicks are calling and Mum is not replying. Where are you, Mum? So I wouldn't have known that was their call until yesterday, that little contact call. I would have just been sitting here going, I have no idea what's calling. But now knowing that one is still on the left and one went into that vegetation on the right, and having heard it yesterday, I can almost be certain. Okay, well, we're going to stay here. Maybe we get another view, and we're going to send you back over the tree cone and beyond Ngala.
All right, so as you can see right in front of us, we've just found some lions. Quite exciting. Look at those youngsters there. You can hear Mom is growling. I think they want to suckle. But Mom, she's not having it. I think she's a little bit tired, so she's not budging at all. Hope you guys can hear the sound. You can hear the mom with a bit of a growl there. Almost like they're whining, like, can you please just suckle? And she's just like, no, not now. And I think one of the cubs is just giving up, and another one is giving up. think they finally realize that they can do whatever they want to, but if mom doesn't want to, she wouldn't let them suckle. As you can see them, they just gave up. And maybe try again later on. Alright, I think we're going to sit with these animals here for a little while. I'm going to send you to Steve so long.
Welcome back, everybody. Have a look at this little water chicken that was swimming a moment ago. You got him, Johan?
Yeah.
Look at those wings. They're so poorly developed. Actually came out into the open, swam a few centimeters away from the vegetation, and then went back in again. Very large feet to enable them to walk on the vegetation and also to swim. The other one is about to pop out as well, but you got a good view. This one's coming really close over here. Let's wait for him to pop out. Well, Nicole, have you seen how long it's taken us to find them? Oh, he's coming out swimming. Come on, little fellow. Yeah, there's lots of insects that get caught up in the water. And in the water, oh, there he goes, look at that. Oh, my goodness. There's insects that get caught up in the water. Frogs. And they sort of blow over to the vegetation and climb up. And so also many of these grass forb-like plants have got seeds. They're placed for insects to lay eggs, place for insects to sort of hang out. And so there's plenty of food on these aquatic systems. That's why we see them moving through this long grass vegetation, feeding. So the food, the area they're feeding on, is quite a specialized sort of niche. And not all birds are able to behave like this. You know, swimming for one thing is a speciality, but then being able to walk on sort of rank vegetation as well. They're actually able to climb as well, small shrubs and bushes, so that's good adaptation. So fitting into sort of a niche that there aren't many birds that do that. Aquatic systems provide so many different types of habitat, and that's why aquatic areas have got such diversity with regards to bird species. Shape of the beak, size of the beak, the feet. Obviously the lesser moorhen being a lot smaller than the common would be able to access sort of shorter vegetation habitats or climb up smaller vegetation than the common moorhen would. So there's size differences, so there's not a competition. Any two species that are too closely related, the stronger of the two always outcompetes the other. So the concealment factor is huge. Let's see how long it's taken us to see these two. So concealment, habitat, food, all vitally important for their survival.
On the 27th of April, WildEarth will be turning 14 years old, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of you. And to celebrate, we will be finishing the beautiful book that we started last year that looks at the history so far. But we do need you to be part of it. Please submit your most memorable sighting, or what WildEarth means to you, or even just your name and a comment to be included inside the book. Head over to the website to add your name and reserve your copy. We are offering a 20% discount on all books bought before the end of March. And a big thank you to all of you who have contributed to the book so far.
Staying one step ahead is the key to survival out in the African wild. And now you can stay in front of the pack with a WildEarth weekly newsletter. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer and you will get exclusive behind-the-scenes stories about your favorite guides and camera operators. Information about our upcoming plans and projects will be delivered to your inbox every week before anyone else. And you can hone your guiding skills by taking part in our Identify Me nature quizzes. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
My name is Ross and I'm a field guide at andBeyond Phinda Private Game Reserve. I love getting questions from guests on WildEarth because I love sharing and learning information about nature with new people, and it also makes me feel like you're all joining me in real life. If you want to ask a question on WildEarth, then you need to register on our website. Once registered, go to our live safari page and submit your question below our live feed.
Our bodies are made up of about 60% water, which means that in a very short space of time, you can dehydrate completely. A relatively efficient way of collecting water early in the morning is to take an absorbent material like a sock and to walk through the grass, absorbing the condensed dewdrops on the grass. Once the material is saturated, you can then squeeze it out into a container, or you can suck it out directly into your mouth.
Welcome everybody. So as you can see, right on the bottom here, we also have some few birds just walking around here, right close to the lions. And as soon as I see the lions come up, they all start to scatter away. Look at that young one there, young cub there. It looks like it's sleeping so comfortably there. And those little ones there. I mean, how cute is that? You see how it's just like staring in that sort of direction. There's some birds, those crested francolins, that caught this youngster's attention. And we're trying to stalk them. It was just being curious. Look at that. trying to still stalk the birds. As you can see there, he's following those crested francolins there. And also these type of skills, you know, these stalkings and following these birds around. You know, they need to sharpen their skills like at this moment, because when they grow up they're going to need that sort of skills. Yeah, I thought that young one as well was about to get interested, but he said, no, I'm just going to lay down and rest. So where these animals have laid down, they're actually laying on the side of the road. And there's a sort of like a drainage line, we call it a mitre drain, where they're laying down, so that when the rain comes, it actually flows into the vegetation rather than flowing on the road and eventually eroding the soil. So where they're laying down here, they chose this area for a specific reason, because of the warmth that is there. And I think that's quite smart, because the grass this morning, there's actually a lot of dew around it, so you know, they'd rather lay down where it's, you know, nice and dry rather than laying down where there's a bit of water. And as we wait here, I think I'm gonna send you to Mike. I think he wants to say hi.
Hi everyone, sorry we're a little bit late this morning. We've been trying to follow some buffaloes and it's very thick around here. My name is Mike Anderson, behind the camera is Niels, and you're joining us at Ecotraining's Pridelands Conservancy, where I'll show you now just how fresh this buffalo signs are. So on my hand and on my shorts, there's a little bit of mud left over. So as we've been trying to follow these buffaloes, we've been hearing them, and they kind of move, and we've only just got a glimpse of them recently, but that is mud. Fresh mud from their bodies as they were mud wallowing somewhere on my shorts and on my hand. So they're very close. We can't see them now, and it's quite a thick rocky area. So what we're going to try and do is skirt around this rocky area to try and get down to the valley of Leopard Dam, which is where I think they're heading to. So we're going to try and see if we can do that. So yeah, that's why we're a little bit later this morning to say hi. They led us on a walk through some of the valleys on Pridelands which don't have great signal, so we've just been trying to get around those valleys and try and get ahead of the buffaloes, and we just got here in time to catch a glimpse of them as they started heading down this rocky area. So I think what we're going to do is probably head that way around this rocky area. There's a bit of an open clearing, like a saddle through the rocks, head down, and then hopefully beat the buffaloes to Leopard Dam. So my time is short. It's going to start getting warm, and so we better get a move on. So in the meantime, we'll send you back to Trico with his lions.
And so those little ones were following the francolins, and eventually the francolins went off the road into some grass there. It was quite nice just to see them busy following them and stalking them. And I think, let's just, keep quiet and just enjoy and see what's going to unfold right in front of us. Justin, you're definitely right. And especially now, like, it's quite interesting because their mom is just laying down and sleeping. She's not even paying attention to them. And it's quite nice to see them, taking the initiative and learn and teach themselves. So I think I'm really happy that you can join us. And yes, you're right. These are the youngest calves of the pride. And I mean, to think that these small calves, I mean, as small as they are, they're going to grow to become these huge lions. I mean, up to like 190 to 200 kgs. You almost can't believe that they could get to that. But it will certainly do. There's the other one coming through. Yeah, so the Francolins are back on the road. And see, we must start to run and chase them. Welcome, Craig. Not too sure, Craig. That is something that I'll have to find out for you. Yeah, that cub is being super patient, eh? Right. But I think while we're staying here enjoying these amazing animals, I'm gonna send you to Djuma with Trish.
That sounds like a very, very cute scene. You've got, yeah, I've got a cute scene too. Whole beautiful, very relaxed herd of elephants. Just jumping along. We're back onto Djuma now. No leopard luck just yet. But I'm so satisfied with watching some elephants. Everyone's very relaxed. They're having a bit of fun. Towards the end there, I can see two youngsters that are playing. There's some really big individuals in this herd, big for females. Now the play fighting has stopped. It never truly does, though. It will continue. We just have to keep an eye out. Hi, Liam. There we go. You'd like to know, how do they keep warm? How do elephants keep warm during the winter season? Well, naturally, because of their very large bodies, they are very warm. So for them, the struggle is keeping cool in the summer as opposed to keeping warm in the winter. The mechanism by which they gain or lose the majority of their heat is in their ears, or from the way that they move their ears. So you'll find that in the summer, photobomb, the ears are out and away from their bodies so that they can expose those really big, thick arteries behind their ears, all those blood vessels behind their ears, so that the coolness can flow over their ears, hit those vessels, and then cooler blood can flow through their body. So that's what you'd find in the summer. In the winter, what they'll do is tend to keep their ears closer to their body. So there's less of a breeze that's flowing over their ears and over those blood vessels. But other than that, keeping warm is not a huge problem for them. For them, it's keeping cool that is a bigger problem. Through those really huge ears, they can circulate almost all of their body's blood through them in about 20 minutes. Look at this. Look at this guy here. This is the bull that's following them. Hi guys, oh, we're being descended upon. Hello everyone. I love this. And what's really nice is that you can see that they came to us. We didn't push our way through them. And that's how we can be a little bit, or have a little bit more information about their comfortability, and then also feel a little safer, and they can feel safer too. So they're making the decision to move towards us. If they didn't want to move towards us, they could easily move to any side. They're very, very relaxed. This one is getting, this young female, she's getting a little bit irritated by this young bull here that keeps trying to test her urine. Can you see that? Good morning, Bernie Lulu. You say that elephants are so calming to watch. You just love them. So do I. That's the sound of the tusk against that bark. Oh, this is such a treat to watch it so carefully. Watch exactly how they're using that tusk to help them strip the bark of a tree. Good day to you, sir. Oh, this is such a nice way to spend the morning. Such a beautiful way. And hello, ma'am. Oh, also in the mood for some tree cambium, are you? Oh, that was sweet. Oh, almost sweet. I thought that she dropped that piece of cambium for the little one to have, but nope. All for herself. It's amazing to watch them, to listen to them, all the sounds they make. Especially when you hear that tusk against that bark. Hi, Jerome. You'd like to know if they can smell the cambium? It's unlikely that they can smell the cambium specifically because the cambium is the active layer of cells underneath that outer bark that's dead. So if it's exposed, they probably could smell it, but if it's intact, they probably cannot. But that's learned behavior. They know where it is. They do have an unbelievable sense of smell, and they do pick up pre-digestive cues from trees, so they'll be able to smell if a tree is very tanniny, if it's pulling out or pushing out terpenes, which are highly volatile compounds. That means it evaporates quickly, so it's quite pungent in the air for them. It's a way that a plant would defend itself and also communicate with other plants to tell them that there's a herbivore around. So they can pick up those cues. That's why if that outer bark is taken away and that cambium is exposed, I'm sure they're likely to smell it. If not, I think it's just learned behavior. The cambium is the part of the tree that develops cells inward towards the xylem wood and outward towards the phloem. It's that active layer of cells, and it can be quite sweet because those active phloem cells are the ones that are carrying the sugars that are created through, oh, that was right in our direction, lovely. The sugars that are created via photosynthesis in the trees, they travel down to the roots via the phloem. So it's quite sweet. She's really enjoying this. It's such a peaceful sighting. I'm so glad I could share it with you. I'm going to stick with them and see what other antics they get up to. I'm going to send you over to Yuan at Tswalu and see what antics he's getting up to for now.
Welcome back, everybody, and we have driven a bit further east this morning, coming across this gorgeous, tufty, hairy, velvetish type of shiny image of a plant coming through this area. And it's a very interesting plant that is known as one of the creepers of this area in the Kalahari, and they often creep up the top edges of the bushes of the blackthorn trees that you find. Now, very interesting, if you look at these white tufts that you see here, seeing all of this hairs, it's actually very, very fine detailed, and you can see just as I touched one, it just came onto my finger there, that hairs are extremely sticky as well. So the stickiness comes actually from the milky white latex that you can see on some of these stems over here to the left hand side here. You can see on these just the white bits and pieces coming out here as well, and that is actually coming from the stems of this particular plant. If I can just bend it over here, but you can see that milky white latex coming off there as well. As you guys were looking at the elephants eating on the cambium layer of some of the trees just now with Tswalu. But yeah, looking at another type of form of nutrients coming through is the milky white latex on some of the plants that comes through in some of these areas as a defense mechanism. Now, looking at these seeds, you can see the funny shapes that it's got, actually having a rather interesting, shall I say, a long edge of a stem coming through. And that is, in Afrikaans, it's called a bobbejaan arm, meaning baboon's arm, or the Tswana local name, and this is in the Kalahari plants books, you'll typically find it in the arid Kalahari plants books as khaba, and that's described as the Tswana name. And basically it comes down to the bobbejaan arm being the creeper, as in you can see on the stems here as well. Check that, how the arms of the stem, or shall I say the sections of the stem over here, coming through, curling up their way up into the bushes and so on, just as a baboon typically would do, gripping onto tree stems and so on. But yeah, very interesting plant if you look at that. Now, these cotton shapes, I just want to grab one of these things. It's got like a floating parachute of these cotton hairy shapes that you see here, and if you look at that, you'll see there's the seed below, just below the umbrella, or the parachute, if I can put it that way. And so if you look at what's happening, if I toss it into the air, you can see it floats, and there it goes as a parachute. So what I'm going to show you is that when these seeds, and it's actually happening right now, when these seeds are drying out quite a bit, it looks like this formation that you see here, and then it will burst open. So I'm going to open it up a bit and literally display what it looks like when these parachutes opens up. So let's hope this works actually as I was planning it. So here we go. Here goes nothing. it didn't really work that well there, but yeah, it should be opening up like that. And then let's see if it works if I toss it up into the air. There we go. There's like a clump going through and so on. But yeah, very interesting. The stickiness will then grip onto some of the stems and so. And then the stems, it'll eventually, by wind, will be carried through as these little parachutes are floating through the air, dropping onto the surface at some certain points, and then it will generally happen again where there's a lot of these acacia melliferae, and then it would happen where they grip onto the stems there, the seeds will germinate from the moisture in the surfaces and so, and it will creep up a next bush. Now, the function of this particular plant is also basically to help recovering an environment, and so, as it's also part of the pioneer plants in this area and so. But yeah, a very cool plant with stunning seeds, cotton ball shaped seeds and so. We're going to continue driving up down the road here and see what other tracks we can find for the morning, see what we can get possibly on lions or cheetah furthermore for the morning.
It's the month of March and WildEarth is offering you the chance to win a brand new prize. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer and you could win a 5-day eco-training ranger experience for 2. Eco-training is the pioneer and leader in safari guide and wildlife training in Africa. The lucky winners can look forward to approaching dangerous game on foot, tracking and 4x4 driving, learning about animal behavior, and even spending one night sleeping out under a blanket of stars. In addition, you will also get the exclusive opportunity to join the WildEarth team on the broadcasting vehicle. Sign up to be an explorer now, and it could be you that wins this life-changing experience. Terms and conditions apply. With a slew of potential dangers lurking, it's essential to be aware of your surroundings whilst walking in the wilderness.
20 yards away from one of the most endangered species. This is a big bull.
What a moment, what a close encounter with an Ellie bull. He's just over here now. He's moved completely away.
Being on a bushwalk and seeing a leopard, I mean, it's ridiculous to be this close to a leopard on foot and for him not to run is absolutely insane. How crazy was that?
Through the gap there is just the back of the head of a male lion. He is absolutely unaware that we are here right now. I tell you, seeing lions on foot, it definitely brings out the caveman in you, this little scared human being.
I love being a cam-up for WildEarth. The animals coming right up close to you, especially like lions. Sometimes you get nervous, but you have to go with the flow. My favorite animal to film is the elephant because of how big it is. But when it's really up close to you, it's one animal that you would say, I really respect you.
We haven't moved at all, but this herd is getting bigger and bigger. There's that little one, look at that. Such a beautiful scene. Stop, little one, you can't go much further than that. Oh, that is very cute. There comes another one. Look at those feet, look at them. That is too cute. Hey, stop. Stop. Hey. Don't come too close. We don't want your mommy to get upset. Yes, you're very big and strong. Very big and strong. That is just the most adorable thing I have seen all week. That is too cute. Too cute. They're so relaxed. Unbelievably relaxed. And we're very lucky and so fortunate to see something like this. I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of them shake their heads at us, especially the youngsters. But they've come straight towards us. No problem. Hi. Hello, you. You're gonna have to go around because you can't come straight at me. No. You're gonna have to go around. Yep. Round, round, round. Everybody's gonna go round. I can't move now. If I move now, then you'll all get scared. You all came right at me anyway. You knew I was here. Hello, little. We are just very, very fortunate. This is one of the nicest ellie sightings I have ever had. Jelly, you say all their tusks look so white today? I thought so too. And my suspicion is that they've just come from Buffelshoek Dam. This is how their tusks look after they've had a bit of a swim. Nice and white, all clean. All around us. So relaxed, guys. I'm just going to be quiet. Oh, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to them if I need to. But just enjoy all these sounds. It's fine. You can turn to him. To her, rather. Hey, are you playing hide and seek with me? Hey, no, don't touch. No, don't touch. Don't touch. Your mommy's gonna be very upset with me if you come touch this car. No. You and your friend have to turn around. There we go. That is for the females in this herd to be so relaxed to let this youngster come up and almost touch the car. That is unreal. Oh, we have some proper tussling going on there. It makes you feel really good when elephants seem to trust you. Oh no. Oh no. It's all fun and games until somebody's trunk gets stepped on or somebody's ear gets stepped on. Hello, guys. So good to us. It's always a great indication that it's always a great sign when they're eating around you. Just enjoy, guys. Just enjoy. This is a very, very fortunate scene that we have unfolding. This is the closest I've ever had any youngsters come to this vehicle. I think, again, this is testament to the fact that if you hang back and you let them move towards you, then you can be very fortunate with the types of sightings you can have with them because they choose to come here. They know where you are, and they are trusting you. This is just too beautiful. this tiny thing. Hi, yes, I've seen you. Good morning. Hi, kiddo. Hi. There's a girl behind us trying to touch him, Paul. She's trying to touch our Ariel. This is gorgeous. They're so relaxed and so comfortable. Didn't even display, not a bit. And you see, when they're so relaxed, I don't even need to raise my voice. Just tap a little bit, lift up my hand, and that's sufficient. Because they're so relaxed. Makes me so excited, makes me so happy. I think they must love my blankie today. Must be the blankie I've been using to, oh, look at this, to keep myself warm. The elephants must enjoy it. I'm just so surprised that the one behind you, Paul, she touched the Ariel just behind your head. Now this little one. We have small, medium, and large. They're all having a go at the tree cambium, and there's a line forming behind them. Because obviously this is the only type of tree cambium that is good. This is unbelievable. One of the best elephant sightings I've ever had, and I got to spend it with you all too. Beautiful. Anyway, look at this little one chewing some cambium. Can you even process it yet? Okay, anyway, let me send you over to Mike at Prrivate. He's found another large herbivore.
So we've managed to find the buffalo. Sorry, I have to whisper quite quietly because it's just behind us. We are following the herd, and there's a dead tree over there. Just in front of that dead tree, closer to us, is a buffalo lying in the mud. Now there's a little bit of a mud wallow closer by that you can just see. This is, in fact, where we had some elephant encounters a couple of days ago. So animals obviously know that this is an area where there's lots of mud and moisture and green grass. So, unlike Tricia's elephants, which she feels very comfortable to be all around, an animal like this, a lone buffalo bull, lying in a mud wallow, is literally what everyone who's a trails guide says. Be very careful because you might be walking, the buffalo sleeping in the mud, and you just stumble across it. In fact, we were very lucky to spot it. It just happened to be standing up at that moment, and then it lay down again. Now, as the sun goes up, the wind starts to do funny things and change position. We've got a nice leadwood tree behind us that's fallen. It's a perfect place for us to go and take shelter should the buffalo smell us and want to come and investigate. Now, these old buffalo bulls are often called dugger boys. And dugger in South Africa is a slang term for cement because of that mud that cakes their body and turns into this hard, crusty, cement-like substance. And they do that because as they get older, they lose their fur and they start to become bald, and they need that. I can hear them rumbling in the background. They need that to protect themselves from the sun and insects. There's a lot of rumbling and grumbling behind us. What we're going to try and do is probably see if we can move around a little bit, not getting any closer to this buffalo, but trying to see if maybe we can glimpse it lying in this mud wallow from a different angle. those leaves moving. It's a very important thing when you're on a bushwalk to constantly monitor the wind. So what we're going to do now is start to make our way around. In the meantime, we'll send you over to tree code in Ngala.
So we've just came across these giraffes right in front of us. So the larger one that you can see there, and if you look below his belly, you can see sort of a skin extending down a little bit. So that is his penis sheath. So that is a male there. And the smaller one, that is a female that you're looking at. Up. You see how he tried to sniff that female's rump. I think he's trying to check if this female, she's in heat or not. I think let's try to wait a little bit and see if maybe he's going to try to mount her. All right, we're just going to keep on driving and follow them. It'll be quite interesting to see her, or see him rather, mate with her. And giraffe mounting is actually a very interesting affair. Oh, there's another third one. But I don't think you guys did see it because it's in a thicket here on the right-hand side. But we're just going to keep on looking at these ones right in front of us. Oh, there he is. Keeps on following. Let's move a little bit more. Sarah, the giraffes have mating seasons. Sarah, I think it's just happened randomly. There's no sort of specific season where they will mate. I'm trying to pull back a little bit and see if maybe we'll get a better view of them. Let's stop here and have a look. You can see also that female, she's chewing the one on the left-hand side. But since we've been here, we didn't see her browse or, feed on the trees. So I think she's just ruminating, re-chewing the food. There he is, he's still sniffing a rump. Lincoln, I'm glad you can join us on this beautiful morning. Would the males fight over females? Lincoln, yes, they'll do. Just gonna take another loop around. So Lincoln, these males, they can actually fight to death for females. And you do what's called necking. where they will just swing their necks at each other. Yeah, I think they're gonna just disappear into the thickets there. I think I'm gonna try another position. We're gonna go back and try if we can see them again. And you can see there's a lot of tall trees here, so it'll be a little bit difficult to see them in this thicket. But while we try to see maybe we can find a better area to see them, I'm going to send you to Tswalu.
Welcome back, everybody. And as you can see, we're on a set of tracks here. There's a lovely, lovely, beautiful track that I'm circling in here that you can see coming through here. And we've driven this entire area flat out this morning trying to find this lioness with her cubs. And if you think about 2 mornings ago, we were trailing this lioness's tracks. And so she's gone into an area that we just couldn't reach her. And so, but yeah, very nice that you can see the back lobes on this track and basically seeing these toes on this track that you can see there. So this is the lioness's tracks, but very cool to see the little cubs. I'm going to try just reach here quickly. You can see the cubs, the 3 little lobes, 1, 2, 3, and then you got the toes, 1, 2, 3, 4 over there of this cubs coming through. Now in comparison between the two, there's another lovely one of a front paw of this lioness's cubs that's been coming through here. Now, like I said 2 mornings ago when we were trailing them, this is very, very small cubs actually that we're looking at here. So yeah, very, very cool set of tracks, very fresh from early morning hours, I'd say, with the sharp moonlight that was shining last night. So yeah, definitely a very nice set of tracks to follow for the morning. We're gonna try again for attempt number 2 and see if we can continue with these tracks, see where they go into, and get a strong possibility, hopefully, for these tracks coming through. So they are walking more or less on the similar route as what we had the other day, trying to follow up on them and so, but yeah, very, very cool to have this fresh set of tracks coming through. So we're going to see if we can get some luck this morning happening. We're going to send you back over to Trish.
Good luck, you, and best of luck to you. I'm still with these elephants. I didn't want to move off because it was an excellent sighting. They're still all around us and didn't want to startle them after everything they've given us. And luckily we ended up with these 2 youngsters having a bit of a tussle. I bet they're 2 young boys. Now they're harassing this older one. You'll find that young male elephants are a lot rougher and tougher and they play very much more than females do, especially that rough kind of play. Even as cubs, as calves. Off they go. Got called off by somebody. Or chased off. Very cute. Now the majority have moved behind us. Hi, Tyler. You'd like to know if all these elephants are related? Yes, it's very likely all these elephants were related. Besides the big bull that initially broke the bark and tried to get to the cambium of this tree here. Initially, that first bull that did it, he's most likely not related to this herd. He looked like he was probably in his mid to late 20s. It's not a very old bull. but he would not be related to this herd. He'd be following this breeding herd. So this breeding herd would consist of females and their male and female offspring. The females would all be related, because if we can imagine a herd from the very beginning, and there's a female that falls pregnant from a must bull that comes in, then the bull leaves and this female gives birth to 2 calves. So then she raises both, say it's a male and a female calf. And in this story, she has twins, let's just say, for the sake of the story. So she has male and a female. 5 years later, she has another female calf. 5 years after that, she has another male calf. And then that first calf has another female. So the males would have dispersed, but her daughters and her granddaughters would stay in the herd. And that's how the herd gets larger and larger and larger. And then those that are of childbearing or calf-bearing age continue to give birth. So all the females within that herd are related. And all the calves in that herd, by some extension, even the male calves, obviously. It's just that those male calves will then disperse. But all the females will be related. Whether it's mother, grandmother, daughter, aunt, sister, they'll all be related. Right now we're seeing ring barking in action. Hi Elizabeth, you say these sounds are so cool. Don't you think so? I do too. It's one of my favorite things with elephants, to just sit and listen to them, because they make these sounds that are so huge, such big sounds. I could never make sounds like this. You could never make sounds like this. I love it. I'm glad you appreciate it too. Hi, Amy. You'd like to know if they're able to ring bark without their tusks. They are. It's just much slower. So you can see, Amy, that the tusk kind of wedges between the outer bark and the main woody bits. So it's easier to kind of pull along. But they do use their trunk to pull too. So if they were going to ring bark without the tusk, they were going to ring bark without the tusk. Wow. They needed to be started by somebody at least, or at least there to be some kind of break in the bark, and then they can use their trunk to pull. But it's definitely not as easy as this. I mean, this is just a piece of cake, really. And for them it kind of is, because it's sugary. It's a sugary treat, like a cake. So if this tree gets ring-barked all the way around as we see it right now, I'm going to make a note of the date. And we're going to see for how long it stands after that. Because once that happens, we know that nutrient or sugar, any of the sugars that are used, that are created through photosynthesis, won't make it to the roots. Water from the roots won't make it to the leaves. Oh well, the water still will, because the xylem's still intact, but the sugars won't. So let's see how long it will stand. I hope the best for this marula, though, that all will be good and that it won't be ring-barked, but also this elephant looks quite determined. So let's just see what happens. Either way, we will learn from it, no matter what happens. Whether it's the demise of the tree or not, we will learn from it. Looks like you might have to come through on the other side, girl. That bush willow is in her way. Look at that, look at that. Oh, I love watching those finger-like protrusions working. That's a clever girl. Taking off all the dead bits of bark. The outer bark are all cells that are dead. She's pulling off that nice thin layer of those active cells. You can hear her chew. Watch this, how she pulls the thin layer that she's after. You can do it. Angle is tough, but she's got it. Oh, magnificent. The dexterity and strength that we've witnessed today is just incredible. Absolutely. The ease with which she has done all of this. Not just her, others did contribute, big and small. Like she was trying to figure out if she actually likes this piece or not. I saw the tiny one get some of the cambium in its mouth and it went choo choo blah blah and then spat it out. Very sweet. Well, I think we might... Did you hear that? That was a very deep rumble coming from somewhere far away. Anyway, we might watch her ring bark the tree, we might not. Let's see how we go. But we're going to sit here and be witness to it if she does. Oh, there we go.
On the 27th of April, WildEarth will be turning 14 years old, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of you. And to celebrate, we will be finishing the beautiful book that we started last year that looks at the history so far. But we do need you to be part of it. Please submit your most memorable sighting, or what WildEarth means to you, or even just your name and a comment to be included inside the book. Head over to the website to add your name and reserve your copy. We are offering a 20% discount on all books bought before the end of March. And a big thank you to all of you who have contributed to the book so far.
The Mara Triangle is a jewel in the Kenyan conservation crown, and thanks to the dedication of the Mara Conservancy, it thrives as one of Earth's greatest national treasures.
We have been experiencing a reduction in the wire snails that we collect on a monthly basis.
And this is basically attributed to our intense patrols.
Over the years, this courageous team of anti-poachers has reduced poaching to almost zero.
Mimi naitwa Stephen Olereso. Nimefanya kazi miaka 16 sasa. Kuanzia mwaka 2002. Hao wanadamu ni wenye utua sana inaogofya ni wale wenye wanaenda kama ndovu. Wanatumia kama bunduki. Sasa hiyo ndio huwa inakuanga hatari sana kwa sisi.
As a result of the global pandemic and the massive reduction in tourist revenue, the Mara Triangle is facing a financial crisis. They need your help if they are to continue their ability to protect this magical land.
My name is Taylor McCurdy and I work for Eco Training. I love hearing from all of the viewers. However, I particularly enjoy those of you who have been watching for a few years. Your questions are just so advanced and they really get me thinking. If you'd like to ask a question on WildEarth, you need to register on our website. Once you've done that, head to the live safari page and submit your questions below the live feed.
So as you can see, we found those buffaloes. They're approaching us, and they certainly know that we're here. We were in some thickets trying to get close, or we were walking along the road through a thick area, and we stumbled into them very close. So we decided to move out. They hadn't seen us yet, and we stood somewhere where it's a bit more open, so that at least they're fully aware that we're here, and that way they're likely to move around us rather than towards us. We were downwind of them, so they couldn't smell us. And that put us in a bit of a tricky situation. Sometimes you actually want animals to smell you and know that you're there, so they don't stumble into you blindly. There's a couple more coming down the road there, Niels. Quite a nice view. So you can see it's a whole herd. In fact, that's the blonde female. That's the blonde female that we saw giving birth a few months ago. Or we saw her just after she gave birth. She's got that blonde, beautiful tail. So it's the same herd that often is around Pride lands, and so they come to the dam at Ndlovu Dam near our eco-training camp quite frequently. And so they're quite used to seeing people moving around the camp on foot and around the dam. You can see one bull is now standing there amongst the thickets, so they're quite spread out, but they've sort of stopped at the moment. We're on the southern end of Impala Plains, and it's quite likely that these buffaloes will want to move onto Impala Plains. So we'll move out of their way soon, just so they can keep moving forward. Leslie and I believe that they are. That's just why we made the decision to come out into the open so they could see us, because we don't want them to be frightened and they're likely to do something, maybe aggressive to try and chase us off. Right now, as we stand here, the whole herd is in front of us and they've sort of stopped. And now some of them are still feeding, which just means that they're used to us. They're okay with us being here as long as we don't go close and approach them. Generally speaking, and we can't say this is always going to happen, generally speaking, buffalo herds will investigate and then move off quietly away from danger. The buffalo bulls, like that one that we had in the mud wallow earlier, that's the one that we really don't want to come into contact with. When the bulls are part of the herd like this, they're likely to stick together. Safety in numbers. It wouldn't make any sense for them to break out of the group just to come investigate us or chase us away, especially that they know what we are. If they just got our scent or saw movement, they might do that. But now that they see us clearly, they're unlikely to approach us any closer. But that being said, we're always aware of what's behind us, that if we need to move behind some cover, we can do. Elephants are also very intelligent. They're also quite, herds with youngsters can also be a tricky situation. It is pretty tense, I'm not going to lie, especially when we were first. So I don't know if you can see these thickets just in front of the buffaloes. We were first behind those thickets, and we were standing there waiting for them to come across the road, and we thought they were a bit further than they were, and they popped out basically where they are now. And we realized we were way too close, so we just backed away slowly. They didn't see us until we got about as far as we are now, and then they saw us, and that was good. At the distance of those thickets there, that's probably about 15 meters at the most from those buffaloes. That's pretty close. That's too close to be on foot with buffaloes that don't know you're there, because that's when they are likely to panic, because then you're probably within their combat zone, let's put it that way, or their aggressive zone. Right now we're in their alert zone. They know we're here. They're not particularly worried. They see us, but they're okay about it. There's another bull that's going to feed across the road, but quite a bit closer than the others, maybe about 15 meters in front of them, just to the right of that little thicket. See them with their noses up like that, the one on the road. That one there still watching us from the thickets, looking pretty grumpy. And on the road ahead of us, you've got a big bull and a younger one, and they're doing the classic head-up pose that buffaloes do when they have seen something and they're trying to gather information. Head up to look straight, nose sniffing the air, ears forward. And that one did not allow that oxpecker to stick around, but that one immediately chased the oxpecker off its nose because it wants to focus on us. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to send you to Tswalu while we move ourselves up towards Impala Plains and hopefully allow these buffaloes to keep feeding towards us.
Welcome back, everybody. We are just taking a slow bumble down this road. We have obviously had these tracks coming through this area, coming through along this edge of this road that doesn't even appear like a road, actually. But anyways, we just taking a slow drive down here and just looking at the edges of these bushes and see if we can't get her here. Now, we've had tracks as well coming back this way from that valley that we tracked her to the other day, actually, as well. And that tracks are, you can see, definitely is a bit older. So the tracks coming back this way is the fresher tracks. And that's obviously the ones we showed you a bit earlier on and so. But yeah, we're just taking it super slowly because of the grasses and the vegetation being so long and dense and thick out here as well. So we're just looking for anything, pretty much, in the spot that could give us a clue to where she could be. And we're kind of hoping that she's literally just on the edge of the road here, because this is a dense, very dense area. And I mean, it's understandable. I mean, if you think about the cub sizes and everything, those are very tiny cubs still. I'm very surprised that they're actually not hidden in a dense site yet. But the thing is, in the Kalahari, desert animals, especially the desert lions, they shift out of dense sites pretty early on their lifetime, because it comes down to a situation they need to introduce those cubs fairly early to progress in the size of the lion pride. And obviously, again, coming back to success in numbers, that is very, very important in this ecosystem out here. But yeah, like I said, it's interesting that she is traveling slowly but surely from areas to areas. You can see she's trying to introduce these cubs to the pride, slowly but surely getting there, because she is getting close to where the pride has been lately. Kendra, you are wondering if all these mountains have names? Yes, they are very iconic mountains in this southern Kalahari region. It's also the only mountains that you find in the Kalahari. It's called the Karaneberg mountain range. So it's a very fascinating mountain range. If we just quickly stop here for 2 seconds, maybe while we're stopping here, we could be even hearing the cubs possibly suckling in the regions like this, or just any type of audio. But looking across this stunning landscape, I mean, there you can see that gorgeous mountains displaying in front of us. Now, just speaking of which, talking about the mountains and so, you can see there's a lot of peaks on these mountains and a lot of loose rocks. And some areas that you drive, it really looks like a pile of rocks actually just dumped. But it truly is coming down to the amount of pressure that's been forced onto the rock crust and the earth's crust in this area, being the parent rock material, the quartz and the quartzite, and that being if you put force and pressure from tectonic plate shifting that has been happening in this area, then it crumbles quartz and quartzite, and that's why it actually formed the rocky structures of these mountains. But also then the peaks of the pressure points where we're panning over to there now is actually where two plates came together, and there it makes a proper trough in the southern end that we're looking at there. And it's two plates that was gliding into each other and crashing into each other, forming up this gorgeous landscape that we're looking at. But also from the point of view of having the peaks, that is showing you how much pressure points were happening there. And especially where we're panning over to now, that is so cool seeing all those peaks coming through from all the pressure that's been happening. But yeah, a tectonic plate shifting that was happening years and thousands of years ago. Very beautiful. Hannon, you asking if it's tough to climb these mountains, or is it safe to climb these mountains? Yes, you can climb these mountains. If we look at just this mountain close to us, you can see there's quite a lot of rocky surfaces, but when you climb it, you got to just make sure that where you do your foot placement and so on when you climb up. But yes, it is a lovely hike going up at these mountains. You can see the boulders and the rocks on these mountains, the typical quartz rock material that is displayed there. But yeah, it could be tricky walking in certain sections, but yeah, especially if you find the Hartmann's mountain zebra game trails and so, you could easily get to the point where you could walk fairly safe, well, pretty safely actually, because the mountain zebra have actually game trails that goes up there that is actually like very, very pronounced fine crust rock as they were walking over these rocks in the mountains. But look at the amount of sweet grass that you find in amongst that rocks in the mountain there as well. And that is possibly what that lioness, okay, yes, she's finding a nice amount of hiding places here for these cubs and so, to tuck them away in these boulders and these rocks, to hunt safely on the possibilities and the likes of mountain zebra being in this area as well. And lions in this area like to chase animals into these unstable surfaces. And that is how the Kalahari lions, especially in the Koranenberg Mountains, in the Green Kalahari, likes to hunt to success, which actually lifts the successive rate to a good 45 to almost 50% in killing rate, which is pretty high for lions actually. I mean, lions don't do so well in their successive rate, but also again, coming back to the size of the pride and how long they have invested in that territory, how long they've stayed in that area, how well they know the landscape, everything will comprise up to a great successive rate coming through there. But yeah, looking at this gorgeous image, just showing you how beautiful that is actually, seeing the amount of grasses in amongst the rocks, giving us a good idea of the amount of life that comes through here. And obviously a stunning landscape and a perfect ecotype for these mountain zebra slash specifically having these desert lions coming through in these areas. Just so beautiful. We're going to be sending you in the meanwhile back over to Trico.
Right, everybody, right in front of us we have an elephant bull there. And I just remember one viewer asked me, do animals come quite often in this riverbed? And yeah, I guess there you have it. Elephant there. And the reason why this bull is here, probably looking for water here. As you can see, he has stuck his trunk right in front of him in the sand, where he just dug. As you can see, So in this riverbed here, right underneath, there's actually a lot of water. So what these elephants will do, they'll come down here, they'll have a little dig. It's actually how they find the water is actually is through smell. They can actually smell the water from the ground, and they'll start digging. It's quite amazing because the sand, when the elephant digs, it acts as a sieve, so all the dirty stuff goes at the bottom and the clean water, up at the top. So the water that they're drinking here, it's really, really clean. It looks like this particular elephant is enjoying his spot. I think we're going to stay with him, enjoy this elephant a little bit. But for now, I'm going to send you to Mike and Pridelands.
What you're seeing there is an absolute cauldron of vultures slowly ascending. They came down quickly into that area, and we rushed into the open of Impala Plains to try and see if we could see what they were coming down for. But it must have just been a thermal that they were trying to get to, because they seem to be rising again now. But when we first saw them, they were far away, and then they just came quickly down to Pridelands. I think that's probably somewhere near the eco-training camp. And now they're rising again. The big open area next to eco-training camps called zebra clearings. And I think that's probably where those vultures are getting their thermal from, somewhere around there. Absolutely incredible. Now, I don't know if you can hear, just behind us, there are some southern ground hornbills also calling. So it's pretty awesome. We're surrounded by cool bird activity. The buffaloes are just over there. We can't see them yet. There's a bunch of impalas through behind us. Some zebras that just ran off. The place is alive with all sorts of activity. Can you hear the hornbills? Southern ground hornbills. I'm going to try and see if we can get a view of those hornbills as soon as we can. At the moment, we're just going to wait here a little bit longer. Impalas seem to be moving off. The vultures are getting a bit further. Not sure which direction those hornbills are moving. They seem to be heading towards the HQ, which is the direction we're walking anyway. So let's see if we can't walk down in that direction and see what we can find.
So this elephant has actually, changed its spot. It had a little bit of a digging just behind it and was drinking from there, and all of a sudden it moved and digged another hole. It was quite interesting watching them dig. I mean, they use their legs, the front legs, to kick the sand around, and then use their trunk. For me, I think it's a little bit strange. Of like, why did it duck behind it and then leave and then dig another one? Welcome, Lisa. I'm glad you can join us. I believe your question is this water healthy for humans to drink? The answer is yes. I can only say that because I'm right now speaking for myself. I've tried it before, I've drank it before, and yeah, it's completely safe. And it's very clean as well. I'll probably not go drink where that elephant has been drinking, but I might go dig my own sort of spot and then drink from there. You can see, if you see right on the sides of his forehead, you'll notice this particular bull has dents on his temple. So this particular bull has been here for quite a while. A bit of an older bull, so I would say maybe around 25. It doesn't look like a very big elephant though. I mean, I've seen bigger elephants than that. But and also look, your size, an elephant size sometimes doesn't determine, how old they are. Sometimes it's genes. Some elephants have, very, very good genes, and they'll like, at 15 or 16 years old, they're so big and they almost look like they're 40 or 30. But I'm just gonna sit here quietly and just enjoy this elephant in front of us. It really is. I mean, it's just fantastic to just, get to just sit, and just enjoy what's right in front of you. And also just the calls around, you have that elephant busy drinking, doing its own thing, loving life. But then in the background, you can hear a lot of birds busy calling. I just had some few crested francolin behind me, some ring-necked dove, some black-backed puffbacks as well. So yeah, it's quite nice. You see that water there?
So in 1998, we had this idea to go and put a live web camera on a waterhole somewhere in the Sabi sands next to the Kruger National Park. And I approached just about every single landowner and everybody thought I was completely crazy until I met Yuri and Pippa Moorman.
We thought it was definitely a fun idea and a worthwhile thing to experiment.
And it immediately became a runaway success. And it gave people all around the world the opportunity to watch a little piece of Africa day and night. Back in 1998, it was the very early stages of the internet. And all we were able to do was to get a 30-second refreshing JPEG out of that camera. But over time, what we began to do is focus more and more on trying to develop this concept of giving people the opportunity to go on safari.
Even though we live just 500 meters up this hill, we still put the camera on to see what's happening.
Absolutely, we watch it ourselves.
For all of you WildEarth explorers who bought plaques, today is the day that you will make your very first safari on our vehicle. Because we are quite remote here in the bush, they have taken some time to arrive, but I am happy to say they are here and they look great. Marcel has spent the day attaching them. Let's take a look.
Before we mount these nameplates, we just give a light dusting of green paint. This is to better match them to the color of the vehicles and also to decrease the reflectivity of the metal and thereby staying sensitive towards the animals.
Bumbo crew, hopefully, Dan Black, Liesel Apgar and Alicia George. Well, it's time for me to get ready to take you all on a safari. Let's go.
My name is Taylor McCurdy and I work for Eco Training. I love hearing from all of the viewers. However, I particularly enjoy those of you who have been watching for a few years. Your questions are just so advanced and they really get me thinking. If you'd like to ask a question on WildEarth, you need to register on our website. Once you've done that, head to the live safari page and submit your questions below the live feed.
Welcome back, folks. So, success is in the building. We have found our lioness with cubs, and they are just in a very, very dense spot here. We've had them actually, well, the lioness actually in the open. She has now moved a bit deeper into, you can see the ears of her actually sticking through the grass there. And she's just moved into where these cubs are at. We are going to try find another way into this bush and just try wangle our way through and so. But yeah, stunning to see, to have finally found after 2.5 days tracking, and then suddenly here we have her. Just so beautiful. I mean, at the moment it's just, we're seeing just ears sticking out of the grass there, but you can see, as I was saying earlier on while we were tracking this lioness, she's still at the moment, you can see, still in a strong possibility of hiding them quite nicely and so on. So BK has just had visual of the cubs actually in this bush in front of us. It's a very, very difficult spot here at the moment, but what we're going to do is we're going to just try find a gap here somewhere. We have her location. It's on a pretty good spot for good reception as well, so we're going to just try find a way to maneuver through here. All right. But we're so happy that we finally found this lioness. It took a bit of long days, a bit of hard work, but there it is. We finally have made it. Only gap there, hey? Okay, let's just try and see if we can't get another gap here, maybe. Looks like that's about it for now, which we're going to be getting. We'll just have to wait and see. This bush is so dense and I don't want to necessarily push around here too much. It looks like this lioness has just tucked herself into there. I think I just had a visual of one of the cubs moving in the bush there as well. But yeah, we can't be moving in too far into the sighting furthermore. Looks like she's just gone and relaxing in that spot there. It's a bit of a difficult spot with the sunlight shining on those bushman grasses quite a bit with trying to find the image of this lioness. But yeah, you can see obviously because of the temperature rising as well, it's been getting to a point where she's found a nice shady spot here as well. Just beautiful. I think I literally just had little bits of movement happening there of the cubs moving through the grasses there in amongst the bush. But yo, we're so excited that we could actually find this lioness. For those of you that's been joining us for that tracking events, it has definitely paid off. So we're just going to sit and wait a bit and see what happens with this lioness. See what we can do to get a bit of a visual here maybe. We're definitely not going to be able to get in from the northern side of this sighting. We'll try and shift again to the southern side. Right. So it looks like she has actually gone lying down quite a bit. And so folks, remember to join us for this evening's drive, the sunset drive this afternoon at 3:30 till 7:30 this evening, Central African time.